Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Stacey West YouTube channel. I am Ben, and the Imps are on the road again at the weekend. We're heading down to St James Park for a 12:30 kickoff, which is going to be a long old trek, early doors for a few people. But to help me preview the game, I'm joined by Exeter fan Chris Sumner. How we doing, mate? You keeping well?
Yeah, good. Thank you. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm all right, Tar. It's been a fun week watching Lincoln. We watched the Man City under-21s get demolished last night as we record. So yeah, that was a fun time. But
Yeah, so you had quite a few young players playing, didn't you?
yeah, it's I think it's the third youngest player to ever score for us. Bagged one last night, and it was a bit of a mix of probably a second string and youth players. So it was a decent night all round, I think, despite the controversy around the competition. But enough about that one. Let's look ahead to the weekend. Obviously, you know, we're heading down. As I say, it's an early kickoff. Probably not one of the games that we would have chosen for an early kickoff if we could help it, but
No.
a bit of a trek down.
Yes.
So let's talk about Exeter briefly. Like, you know, how has the season panned out for you guys compared to maybe your expectations at the start of the season? You know, where did you think you'd be, and where are you at the moment? Sitting 11th in the table, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I think for me, because normally our history is as a run-of-the-mill League Two club. Being in League One, I think for me, every season, it's like, get to 50 points and see what happens. Once you get to 50 points, then you're pretty much safe. So then after that, anything else is a bonus. But I think start of the season, I was looking for about probably mid-table, considering the squad we've got for this season. And as things stand, I think we're on course for that, which looks quite good. So hopefully that'll be the case, because I think last season we finished 13th, season before we finished 14th. So 12th or above will be an improvement on the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, it's similar to what we've said in that at the start of the season, a lot of us were saying if we were to finish top 10, it would be an improvement on last season, even though it wouldn't technically be in terms of position. But obviously, the strength of the division this season seems to be a bit higher than it has been in past years. So,
Yeah.
I mean, so you're coming off the back of a decent 1-0 win at the weekend against Charlton.
Yep.
How did that game go? Was it deserved win? You know, how did you guys? Well, how did you see it?
I think for me it was one of those games where you really ground out the win, which was really great. It's really encouraging to see, really, when you've got a team that will just dig deep for the win like that, and in any situation to go all out to get the 3 points. And I think we really worked hard during the game and fully deserved the win in the end.
Good stuff. And again, prior to that, you know, in the league, we'll see the FA Cup. You had a pretty decent win.
Yeah, that was a bit of a. I had to go and lie down in a dark room after that one.
I can understand why. I think was it 5-3 in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can completely understand the need to just have a
Barnet were probably a lot better. A lot of League One sides I've seen this season, to be fair.
Wow. Okay, so want to keep an eye on then.
Yeah,
want to keep an eye on for that one then. So, I mean, in terms of the league, the form was all right until playing Reading. So it was. I think you had 3 wins on the bounce. Before that, you had a draw and a win, and then 2 losses on the bounce to Reading and Huddersfield. So, what did anything change around that, or was it just kind of 2 decent sides that came and didn't have much of an answer for?
with the Reading game, we just had a bit of a poor first half, and it just by the half time we were 2-0 down. Second half we came out all guns blazing. We managed to get one back, but just couldn't get an equaliser. But we gave it a really good go. But had we played like that at the start of the game, we probably would have got something from it. But Huddersfield was just a bad day at the office. I felt we didn't seem to show up that day. But thankfully we managed to bounce back after that in the cup competition, and then obviously getting the win on Saturday against Charlton.
Yeah, it always seems that way, doesn't it? If you get a decent win in a cup, you can sometimes take the momentum through into the league and get a result at. I don't want to sound disrespectful, but it maybe a couple of people wouldn't have thought you would have gotten the result at Charlton that you did.
Yeah, exactly. They're well-established club. They've got a fair bit of money behind them as well. So to beat sides like that, that's one of the joys of being in this division, is pushing yourself on and beating these big sides.
Absolutely. So give us an insight, if you can, into how Exeter tend to set up. What can we expect from Exeter on Saturday?
We kind of use like the wing back system really. So kind of go for three at the back, and then the two wingers,
Hmm.
and then a couple of midfield, a couple up top. So that's kind of how we go about things, is playing around at the back and using the wide man really to take play up the pitch. But obviously we're missing one of our wingers, Elmari Niskanen, this weekend. He's playing for Finland,
Hmm.
and he's been fantastic in recent weeks for us. Got Player of the Month for last season, for as voted by the fans. And Saturday he was all over the place. He was playing on the right and he was running back to the left to try and cover for others when they were in trouble. And he's just very pacey, so we'll miss him a lot on Saturday. And same with Josh McGuinness, who's gone to play for Northern Ireland. He got a hat trick against Barnet, and he's been the great target man, so to speak, that we've been looking for. But yeah, that'll be a big loss. But I think it gives, like I've said before, it gives other players the opportunity to come in and stake a claim for a first team spot.
Yeah, so let's touch on that a little bit then, because obviously you do have three players out to international duty.
Hmm.
However, that kind of came in after the deadline, so
Yes.
it's a weird one. Obviously, from a Lincoln City perspective, I'm okay with it because it
Mm.
means that you're without players that are of the caliber that are being called up for international duty. However, I can completely empathise, and I do feel for Exeter fans a little bit as well, in that you're going to be weakened for the game. So,
Mm.
I mean, from your perspective, like you say, you're going to be able to exercise the squad depth that you've got. You're going to be able to hopefully see a few different players come in. Do you think that the depth and the strength and depth that you have, is that going to be enough to potentially, well, hopefully get a result for you guys at the weekend, or do you think it might be a step too far?
I don't know if it'll be a step too far. I think I got faith in the players that we've got at our disposal, and I think we've got quite a talented bunch. And luckily, we haven't been too hampered with injuries this year. And well, this time last year, we were going through quite a bad run between, I think it was like October to Christmas, and we kind of tumbled down the table. And then come Christmas, we managed to turn it around again. But so we're in a better position than we were this time last year. So for me, I'm kind of just enjoying the ride at the minute, and I think it's a case of wait and see what happens. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
not ideal having three players out, and I think that's something that the EFL will have to look at in future to deal with the League One clubs. But I think we just got to make the best of it and work with what we got.
Yeah, and obviously, as mentioned, the fact that it is that early kickoff because the game's on TV. There's always, I don't know, is there an undercurrent there of, oh well, the game's on TV, so we can't move
Mhm.
it? Who knows what's gone on there? But okay, so what what would be a successful season for Exeter this season? I mean, you've obviously mentioned, you get to 50 points and then see where you go from there. I mean, from your perspective and maybe from the perspective of others in and around the club, do you think there's, I mean, obviously, Exeter pretty famously the fan owned club.
Yeah.
You've got a really good spirit there in terms of a community. I'm
Hmm.
guessing I'm guessing there isn't much misalignment between club and fans because it's one and the same at that point.
No, not really. I think it's great. I love being a fan-owned club, and I think we make the best of it, really, to be honest, as well as I think we've really made use of the academy and getting through those kinds of things. Obviously, we've had money come in from like sell-ons like for Ollie Watkins and Jay Stansfield, and that's helped set us up for the future. And I think that's a really key point, really.
Definitely, and I think that's. I mean, every club wants to have a player like that, don't they? They want to have the Ollie Watkins that goes on to be an England international and
Yeah.
scoring the Euros and all the rest of it. So, yeah, I can imagine that, like you say, the alignment is there. So, from your perspective personally, like you've said, get to 50 and see what happens. Like, what are your ultimate aims for the end of the season? Do you think this year in particular might be, maybe a bit much to ask for a finish up the top end?
Um, I still think 7th to 12th is doable, and I think that's got to be the aim, really. To be perfectly honest, if we
Hmm.
can get higher than that, yeah, it'd be great. Be nice to enjoy the ride, but if we don't, then so be it. I think if as long as we get 7th to 12th, I think I can safely say that that's a successful season for a club of our size.
Absolutely. So, um, any standouts that we need to be aware of on Saturday? Anybody that could cause us more of a threat than usual? Would you think?
I think it might be a case that Demetri Mitchell's just come back from injury, so with the players out, he might end up getting a start, so he'll be quite good. Quite impressed with Tristan Kramer at the back. He gave us he came up with a winner on Saturday against Charlton.
Hmm.
So and our defence has been pretty solid most of the season. And Joe Whitworth, the keeper on loan from Crystal Palace, he's pulled off some amazing saves. That's second season in a row we've had a talented lone keeper. So hopefully that will continue.
Yeah, we've been there. We've been down that road as well before, and it's always bittersweet, isn't it? When you get to the end of the season and the keeper goes back, and they've had a decent season with you. It's yeah, never fall in love with a loanee. We've learned that
No,
the hard way.
no, no.
So okay, so you've mentioned obviously with the setup that you've got with playing the wing backs and playing it through. Um, is that pretty consistent, or is it? Do you ever have the moment where Caldwell goes, "Oh, we need to switch this up," and we switch to a back four, for example, or is there any? Is it kind of fairly? I don't want to say static because it never is, but excuse me, is that a consistent through line through the season for you?
That's kind of consistent as to like how we start games. He may tweak things through the games as to how the game's going, but that's generally how we end up starting games.
Hmm. Okay. So have you seen much of the Imps so far this season? Have you seen any of the games, any of the results that caught your eye? Or obviously, I imagine one that probably caught your eye was the Crawley away game for the wrong reasons.
Mm.
Yeah, is there anything you've seen of ours, or any players that have caught your eye and you think, oh, that could be a good one?
I think was it last season you were having a decent run up to the playoffs,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I thought, oh, you could do something, you could sneak in. So, but I haven't seen much of you this season. And obviously, you had your win in the Bristol Street Trophy the other night against Man City. That was decent return. But I think we're pretty much Exeter and Lincoln are quite similar clubs, really, with their aspirations, really. So I think it'd be quite an interesting game on Saturday, and be interesting to see who comes out on top.
Definitely. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. We've had some battles in the past of Lincoln and
Yeah,
Exeter. Obviously, the one that comes to mind was the playoffs a few years back.
yeah,
Um, but we've I think yeah, League One seems like a decent enough level for both teams at the moment. Obviously, aspirations to improve and move on.
yeah.
So it's that time in the preview when we always have it. What would your prediction be for the weekend?
Oh, tough one. I would probably say 2-1 Exeter.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stick my red and white hat on, and I'm gonna have to go with the reverse. I think we're probably in need of a win after a draw away at Bristol Rovers. I think it's probably good to just have that little bit of momentum bounce, taking it from the game on Tuesday night and seeing how we get on. I think we've probably just got enough in the tank, and as we said, with the international call-ups for you guys, I think it might just put us in good stead to nick a win at the weekend. So
it'd be interesting to see what happens anyway.
Definitely so.
The masses watching on Sky will think as well.
Absolutely. Well, let's not forget it is a 12:30 kickoff. If you are heading down to Exeter, I will tip my hat to you because it is a hell of a journey. I think I saw somebody saying that they need to start their train journey at 5:30 in the morning. So, bit of a long trek. So, Chris, we always do it as well. You've got 30 seconds if you want to, give yourself a little plug, let people know where they can find you and what you're about.
Basically I'm on some ZCFC if you want to find me on there. But apart from that, it's just hello to all the fellow City fans who might be watching, and best of luck after Saturday.
Great stuff. Well, look, thanks for joining us, Chris. Been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully we'll chat to you again later on in the season, and all the best for the rest of the season, obviously, apart from Saturday.
Yeah, fantastic. Brilliant. Thanks ever so much.
No worries. And that'll do for today. Make sure I believe the podcast is live or being recorded as I speak. But until next time, guys, we'll see you soon. Up the Imps. Lincoln City are the team, the greatest is their name. Tinsel bankers their home ground and football is their game. So come and cheer them on, you lads, support them all the way. Oh, 'tis our delight for the red and white, the Imps are here to stay.